What's up, dudes? Welcome back to another episode of Rhomas Men's Team. Pretty simple. We are a group of guys helping each other make progress towards each other's goals. If you're new to the channel, awesome and welcome. If you want to help support the channel and join our pro team, head over to rhomasteam.com/pro, where you can contribute to us on a donation basis. We also give you access to exclusive content, mastermind groups, etc., etc. So anyway, hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you on the team. What's up, dudes? We are back in action, 2024. Wanted to go around real quick and first of all, introduce somebody new. We got my buddy Kyle up here, and Kyle, we're bringing him on board. 2024 goal is to grow the Rhomas Men's Team and its channels. So we now have our first official hire to do that. So Kyle's going to be the CEO of the marketing here at Rhomas Men's Team. And you better not fuck this up, I guess is what I'm saying, Kyle. So we'll go deeper into detail. But first, before we do that, I wanted to go round robin here and get, if everybody's willing to share some wins from 2024. I think as men, our job is to 99% of the time chop wood, get the job done, and then the 1% of the time, you know, if you're going to be willing to do the work, then be willing to accept the trophy. So, Larry, let me throw it over to you first, bud. We would be honored for you to share a win or two from 2024.
23.
Last 5 days.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
2023. Well, we in 2023 we went from 20 followers to 121,000 followers.
You hear that, Kyle?
Wow.
And we created 3 new programs that are online that create some passive income. And we have been doing a lot of filming and doing a lot of Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I joined a group called Vistage, did a bunch of pro bono speaking engagements, and then was accepted into the group and now have 7 new bookings in the last 2 weeks. So, you know, getting off my ass has made all the difference in the world. And, you know, I sat around waiting for it to happen and thought I would imagine myself into prosperity. Didn't seem to work, but I want to also give credit to this group for being the instigators of my taking action. Listening to you folks humbles me beyond imagination and turns me into a worker instead of a overseer, you know, someone in the audience making all the comments and critiques and everything, but not really stepping up and jumping in like I could. And you guys took me to another level. So Kyle, welcome aboard. And you're with a phenomenally dynamic group who's very, very caring and forgiving, and will whip your ass when needed, but you'll always feel better about it when it's done.
Absolutely love it. Hey, Larry, I was thinking about joining Vistage as well. It's been on my list for probably a couple years, like going on and off, and not sure if I wanted to do it. And something you'd recommend?
Yeah. I think you would be a superstar. It's really great to be among other business owners, and from those that are making $1 million a year to $300 million a year. And, I just kind of snuck in under the radar. But everybody has such a great perspective that some been through what you're challenged with now and gives you insights, and others, the resources are just unlimited, and kind of like the men's group, but not quite up to the level of the men's group. But
damn right. If you don't mind me asking, what's the cost?
If you just come in as a member, it's $440 a month.
Oh, I thought it was
if you come in as a CEO, and you want to be working with you want to be in a group that gets to listen to speakers come in and all that. That's like $2,500 a month.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll circle back with you. But hey, man, congratulations on the success. One of the things I love about you is just the starting from scratch, like that zero-based thinking always, regardless of the history, is just outstanding. So it's an honor and a pleasure having you on the team, and thank you for sharing your wins, my friend. And just again to motivate Kyle, you went from how many followers to how many followers?
I went from 25 to 121,000.
All right, cool. So Kyle, please take note of that in bold and italicized and underlined. MFG, let's throw it over to you, brother.
Yeah, 2023 was a wild year for me.
If MFG looks dead, he's going on a 16th day of a 16-day fast.
No, and I broke it last night. But we did 102 hours, so I guess that's an accomplishment for 2023. But the biggest thing for me was I took a big risk at the beginning of the year. I had separated with the girl that I moved down to Charlotte for, and had an opportunity to hook up with another artist I've been working with, and there was no security whatsoever. So because of that, I had to buy a van to live in, and converted that, and was able to live a full fucking year in a van and still get everything else done, still progress as an artist. I've just been able to up my skill set so much with metalwork, working with this new artist, and I've been able to be a part of so many remarkable projects already, and move to the point that we're more in a partnership situation now, and things are really clicking. It went from like a part-time 2-3 days a week, and now it's like, before I went home for Christmas, we did fucking 21 days straight just to hit deadlines. So we're overbooked with clients. It's really, it feels good to knock that down. And the biggest factor with that is I learned to let go of trying to control things around me. That was my biggest inhibiting factor professionally in the past, is that I'd be working with people and I would always be go, trying to optimize, trying to push projects forward. And it would actually cause like resentment and a rift between me and the team that I was working with. And now I'm able to just truly able to go with the flow, not hold resentments. And that's been fucking liberating. So I'd say that's my biggest win, is that personal piece of growth that was really the linchpin that was holding me back.
Man, a year in a van, dude, I don't even know how you pulled that off, how that's possible, and still pull off the results that you pull off.
It's easier than you'd think, but it's fucking wild. The thing isn't even converted, Wes. I have basically just a twin bed in the back, and we did it uninsulated. It was fucking 21 degrees last night. It gets to like 105 degrees here in the summertime. So it's but I'll tell you what, man, it's there's something to staying in that pursuit lane. Yeah. Like keeping it and I know it's psychotic, but for me, I'm so high strung typically that having to like putting myself in this situation seems insane, but it serves me the best. When I go home to Maine for a week at a time or whatever, it fucks me up. You know what I mean? Like being in it's a tool now, and it's going to be hard to, even when I get a place, I might still fucking do a couple of nights a week in the van just to keep myself honest,
when you write your book, A Year in the Van, outside of giving up control, what would you say was your greatest learning?
In regards to living in the van?
Yeah, in regards to some insights that you gained about yourself and life.
That everything is within me. When you take away everything, and a lot of people say that, but when you really take away everything, like I don't even have a fucking fridge. You know what I mean? Like I got to go to the grocery store every day. If you take away all the amenities and also too, during that year, I didn't talk about it too much in here, but I was like fucking broke, guys. Like there was times when I wouldn't get paid for like a month because we were finishing on projects. So even to the point that like I had to borrow money for food a couple times. But when you but in doing that, I no longer had the luxury of buying dopamine. I no longer had the luxury of buying feelings. You know what I mean? So what that forced me to do is, instead of just wallowing or just feeling bad about myself or the situation, it made me find ways to create happiness within my life through things like, not that I wasn't already, actively training in the gym, but to really be able to embrace that as something that is fulfilling and joyful. To use things like there's a park that I go to down here every fucking day with the dog. We hike like 3 to 5 miles. That's free. And really finding out, after going that long without really any disposable income, realizing that it doesn't matter, as crazy as that sounds. So even now, I mean, things are going very well financially, but I'm still doing the same things. Like I have no desire to pay this thing. Let me go have this experience. No, I'm just happy, and I've truly been able to learn how to find peace in regardless of circumstances, I should say.
Wow.
Well, like I've always tell you, man, it's an honor to fight by your side. Super inspirational. I appreciate it, man. And plus, on your 2023 list, I think it was 2023, right? You made me the custom art piece and sent it and completed project. So, yeah. Thank you for doing that. I mean, because to me, when I look at that, it's a symbol of one of the men who committed to a project and got it done. So outstanding job, my friend. Thank you, brother. Ray, let's throw it over to you, pal.
Good morning, gentlemen. Great to hear from all of you. I wish I had more time to think about it, because for some reason I'm drawing a blank. But back in November, I was talking about wins and losses or goals or something with a friend of mine, and they proposed the gap or gain model, where rather than like wins and losses, right? So where have you gained in the last year, and where are there still gaps? It's just a kind of more, like it just, if wins and losses scares you off, if all you can think of is your losses, right? Try the gap or gain exercise. So like, health. I started and ended the year at the same weight, which is like, I'm just hovering around 170, which is where I like to be.
Nice.
And I started the day at 174, and I had a BM and I was 172, and I had a BM and I was 171.8. And try as I might, I wasn't able to get, I wasn't able to get the needle any lower, if you know what I mean. But I took pretty darn good care of myself the last year. I lived another year drug-free and alcohol-free. I spent plenty of time in the gym, and those are all things. I want better results on all of those in the coming year. For my career, there's plenty of room for improvement, but looking back, I did a bunch of exhibitions. I did a bunch of large-scale special projects and a bunch of private sales. Got some new clients, started doing teaching videos, and those resulted in sales. On two particular occasions, there were clients that weren't sure about the photos I was texting them and emailing them, and so I recorded a teaching video, and it resulted in an automatic sale. This is something Wes encouraged me to do. I'm now posting them publicly, which is yet another personal embarrassment hurdle. But the results speak for themselves. They result in sales. So I'd like to credit Wes with pushing me to do that.
Thanks, man.
You bet, man. I got more involved in my daughter's school and took on a kind of leadership role in like the Parent-Teacher Association. I got more involved in my 12-step recovery program and became a leader in that group. Bringing new people into that lifestyle, the healthy lifestyle. And then my wife and I are in the process of being separated, and which is scary, but I'm navigating it just fine. I know I'm going to be okay, and I'm not I'm handling what is otherwise a rocky, family episode. I'm handling it really well.
Hey dudes, sorry for the interruption here. Just wanted to let you know, if you want to join our pro team, go to romasteam.com/pro. You can help support the channel. You will also get access to exclusive content, masterminds, one-on-one sessions, etc. All right, back to the episode.
So that's why you're.
Well, dude, I gotta congratulate you, because I know how easy it is to get stuck in a negative feedback loop mechanism inside of your head.
Mm-hmm.
And you're, especially last year, honestly for the last 3 years working with you, you're just setting the example of like, hey man, despite your feelings, how about you go out and try to create some good and actually be engaged in the world, like act in the world. And then you'll see the feedback loop is positive,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just such a great example of that. I'm not surprised that you're a leader of this group. You're a leader of your, your sobriety group. You're a leader in your company and so on. It's the whole, what is it? Who's that famous basketball coach, Larry?
John Wooden.
John Wooden, yeah. How you do anything is how you do everything. Ray, and I think you're just a perfect example of that, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And Wes, something I see up and down this group is like putting in the inputs gets the results. It's no fun sending email and making call after call and without getting any bites. But that just requires more inputs.
Yeah.
And
yep,
that's
exactly.
Like if your inputs aren't getting bites, you just need more inputs. And it's funny, like it's this in sales. I'm in a sales role, which a lot of us are in. I mean, we all are in some capacity, right? Unless we work at the Department of Motor Vehicles, and it's just a case of it's a case of like an actor going out for auditions, never knowing if he'll get a role, and having to suffer 100 rejections in a row, or 100 no callbacks in a row, because that is the volume that it takes that's the number of inputs it takes to get a win.
Yep, absolutely.
If I may, real quickly, I got to give the credit not only to my wife, who's always seen more in me than I have, but to Wes and Ray. Just the fact that you guys show up every Monday and Friday, has been such an inspiration to me. And Ray, and I mean, Wes, you're the guy who got me to get out of my own way. And you're the guy who told me the best investment I could make is in myself and my company. And Ray, you just continue to strive, which just continues to inspire. And I hope you give yourself some kudos for what you've been able to do, because it's huge. And Mike, you have made me realize that I have got something to offer, because with your intellect and your skills and to be able to make some of the statements you've made to me has been so inspiring. And Phil, you and what you're going through and your story and the experiences you have, continue to have me confront myself. So I'm just want to let everyone know, all those that are listening and those in the group, what a wonderful thing it is to be able to collaborate with like-minded men and not be ridiculed for shortcomings, and be reminded of the steps we've taken. So thanks, Wes and Ray for leading this. And, Kyle, your life is going to change, just not only what you're going to contribute, but just hanging around.
But Larry, like, what a gift your presence has been here, man. Like, I don't know what the metaphor is, Wes, but like this group was like candy without the high fructose corn syrup until Larry came along, It's just the secret ingredient that really makes it makes it delicious. And absolutely what he said about Phil, who's up next. Phil, like, you've proven to us you are absolutely unbreakable, man. You're made of titanium.
Yeah, well, Larry, number one, thank you so much, brother, for the compliments. It really means a lot to me. And then MFG, Phil one-upped you by reducing the square footage of living in a vehicle. So we're going to throw the mic over to him. Phil, you're up, my friend.
Yo, he's living in a sedan like a real man, Mike.
Yeah, and I don't know. This is
wins
tough.
of the year. Wins. We know we know some of your wins, bro.
Yeah, it's just really tough right now. I'm still in a really fucking shitty situation and shitty mood because of that, and it's really hard for me to even say. I don't know. Saying shit positive when the situation just makes me fucking enraged. But I don't know. I lived in a fucking van like a dumbass for like 6 months or whatever last year, and managed to not go completely broke, I guess. I don't know. I reconnected with a guy I used to work for, and now I'm working with him again, so I'm making more money than Uber, at least slightly more.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. That's about it.
Well, one of the benefits of the group of men is when you're in the frame of mind that won't even give yourself credit for your wins, then the men can kind of stand around you and say, hey, this is easy. Ray, what's one of the wins for Phil last year?
Well, dude, I know the mindset all too well. I know like I'm not speaking for Phil, but I know that like the self-limiting beliefs or the negative self-talk, it's just like it's like the Energizer Bunny in my head. So I mean, just I'm not speaking for Phil, but I know what that's like, and I know that I know last year I didn't design, release, and make money from my own video game. That was Phil. That's huge.
$4,000 minimum, from my understanding.
And that's like, but not only that, he basically started a new business. He's right, and made a little bit of cash in the first month. Like, what percentages of businesses make money in the first month?
Oh yeah, I lost money for the first few years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that is huge. And Phil, like, you showed up to this, like, I think you have a better record. I hate to say it, you have a better record of showing up to this podcast than I do at this point. And and you were, if I recall correctly, you showed up to this men's group, this team, and you showed up every week since that first time.
Yep.
And that is a commitment to yourself. That's not a commitment to us. You didn't promise us that you were going to show up. That was a commitment to yourself. And I believe you were reluctant to finish the game and release the game, and you were beating yourself up for having kind of like gotten it to 75% and not completed it. And you made us accountability partners, and you released the game. And those are not, I mean, Larry, would you call those small accomplishments?
No, they're, but unfortunately our wins can be overshadowed by the direction we allow our mind to go in. And the real challenge all of us face is taking control of our thinking. And it happens differently for everybody. And I think I've been in Phil's situation psychologically, maybe not physically. And I recognized how numb I got when anybody was giving me any accolades. Well, they're trying to make me feel good. They really don't know who I am. And I think it's the real realization that all of us at some point in our life get is, boy, if I have the power to put myself in a funk, I can use that same energy to get out of it. And yet something's got to transpire in our lives that gets our attention. And all of us have different stories of what that was. And sometimes, you know, and I know in my case, it takes more than one experience to be able to get my attention. And, you know, and then as soon as I think I got it, another experience hits me. And I have to remember that I'm a warrior and I'm resilient and I've got a team and friends. And, you know, there's nothing, once you get to the point where you realize there's nothing more important than the relationships you establish in your life, because that's what gives us identity. It's our feedback system. How the hell do we know how we're doing if we're not listening and being with others? So, Phil, I feel for you, brother, but I also want to say that you've been, just showing up has been such an inspiration for me, and having me realize that I need to go out of my way to be more grateful for what's transpired in my life, instead of, well, why don't I have 1 million followers? God, there's guys out there with, you know, we can always slam ourselves, no matter, you know, what the kudos are we hear. So, you know, we are all with you, no matter what you're going through.
Yeah, and for me to throw my 2 cents in there, I've got 2 big wins that, Phil, when I think of you for 2023. Number one, your ability, actually 3. Number one, you might be the perfect example of one of the mantras that we say on here, which is like, do the work despite your feelings. You've done the work despite how you've described to me how much pain you've been in mentally and emotionally over the years. So I think that's an outstanding example of you get your shit done despite your feelings at the time. The second thing is not only that, but your ability to articulate pretty complex topics and mental models into efficient conversations has just been outstanding. I mean, it really has. That's no bullshit. And I think every guy here would support that. And then the third thing is, you know, it's a little hidden gem that when I think of you, and the guys don't know. So when Phil, I think your car broke down completely, and I was in New York with my family that I had spent a boatload of time planning, and Ray was there. It was just complete chaos in a good way. But I called you to check in just to see how you were doing. And even though you were at just the bottom rung of the ladder, you were such a gentleman about accepting the gesture that I was trying to give, and you didn't monopolize my time, right? Like, even though it was arguably one of the hardest times of your life, you just did, in my opinion, what a man should do. Like, you took the love, you accepted it and said thank you, and then you said, hey, I know you're with your family, man, so, you know, get back to, like, that sounds so small and insignificant, but dude, I promise you, the amount of times where I've done that, and then the person, not maliciously, just kind of took over, and then it's 3 hours later and not understanding what's on the other side of the telephone of like, hey, I'm just trying to do a nice gesture, but we need to be reasonable here. I'm with my family. Like, you still had the emotional equilibrium and intellectual equilibrium to recognize what I needed on my side, despite how much you needed on your side. So I appreciate that, brother, sincerely.
Hey, thanks. That means a lot. Yeah, it means a lot to hear that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just I'm gonna fucking start crying now because I can't talk about anything without fucking freaking out. Sorry about this,
Good,
but
Freaking out, man.
I just I don't know. It like part of what you guys are saying is true, you know. But like when the few weeks before I released my game, I just kept thinking I need to work as hard as I can and make this as best as possible because it's a giant investment that the release is when you make the most money, and you need to create like a massive like velocity with stuff like entertainment to make money on it. And I didn't work hard most of the few weeks before releasing it. Most of the few weeks before releasing, I was watching YouTube and trying to put it out of my mind that I wasn't working very hard. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to monopolize this situation right now either, but I don't know.
Well,
I just
Phil,
can't. I don't know. Like when you guys are like, it's just like it's like impossible. Sorry, I'm sorry for fucking crying right now, but
Oh, good,
it's
bro.
like it's like impossible for me to fix this situation I'm in emotionally, because when you guys say this type of stuff, I get so angry and so like fucked, like I'm sorry, like so fucked up. Like when you guys are trying to help me, it makes me not want to come here anymore. Like I've had a really hard time coming to. God damn, can't fucking talk.
You're good, bro.
I've had a really hard time coming to these meetings. The last talk, dude, it's actually kind of funny. I can't fucking talk.
yeah, dude, you can
But,
keep squeaking. Keep squeaking, man. It's okay. We got you.
Hey, thanks, Ray. I appreciate that. No, I've had a really hard time coming to these meetings the last few times because I've just gotten to a place where, like, you know, what I need to deal with now, you know, you guys have helped me a lot, like dealing with the surface level stuff, you know, and now it's like this stuff I need to get into now is just it's like the real stuff, and I just get like I start freaking out like this every time I try to even talk about it, you know, and it's so fucking embarrassing to be doing this right now, and I don't know, it's just I don't know how to it's hard to, you know, address things when I'm like I get like this, you know, I get like this when I'm just trying to fucking think about it. And yeah, I don't know, I guess because of that, or I don't know why, but when you guys try to help me with this type of stuff, it makes me so angry, and it makes me just I don't know, I can't deal with it. I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry, but
Can I throw something out there, bro?
yeah.
And both of you who I'm about to address, just tell me to shut up if you think I'm completely off base here. I would be very curious, and I know it's going to sound weird, but it's just weird that like the universe has put two guys in here who have similar situations, and one of the guys, in my opinion, is like the secret Boston Yoda. I'd be curious what would happen if MFG were up for having a phone conversation with Phil sometime on his walk or something like that. Dude, honestly, MFG is this secret gem who knows a boatload about psychology and also real life, right? You know, real life obstacles. Obviously, I'd be curious what would happen if you guys talked on the phone, you know, once or twice and see what came of it, you know, because I think MFG is clearly superior to me of digging through some of that stuff because he's gone through so many of the exercises. Like he taught me about the trauma egg, et cetera. So MFG, I'm not trying to put any responsibility in your plate, but I'd be curious what would happen if you guys connected.
Well, let me tell you, man. Me and Phil talk, you know, once every couple of weeks now at this point. But Phil has the conversations I've had with him have. I'll be honest, man. There've been times when I've been in a dark spot, and Phil's been the motherfucker that reaches out to me. You know what I mean? So we're all in this shit together, man. It's you know, and listen, I don't want to overspeak, but Phil, I have been I know the feelings that you're having, dude. I struggled so hard with the same thing, and this group was here when I got let go of my gig, and the hardest time at times was for me to show up here, because I'm like, how the fuck can all these people see these things in me and be nice to me and have all this belief in me, and I didn't see any of it in myself, man, and it would project outwardly and internally for me as anger, but it was really just at least for me it was learning to understand myself, man. And Phil, I'm always fucking available, dude. You know me, live in a fucking van, dude. Just pick up the phone. You can always reach out.
Yeah,
Love it.
Wes, it's almost as if like what Yoda just said is like that is almost the mission of this group, or the de facto function of this group, is just to create like a net with our strong arms to catch guys, you know, who are, you know, who gravity is pushing down. And Larry, I think that there's probably something very human about creating a wall of anger around painful realities, right? Like I think of my brother Frank, who I haven't spoken to in 3 years, and I text him once in a while, and I get no answer, and then I just think about like beating him up or running him over or like showing him what a baseball bat can do to a face, and and I ask myself like why why do I automatically get kind of like psycho like that? And I think it's because like it hurts me so much, right, that I don't have a relationship with who used to be my best friend, right? And yeah, so I think it must be very human to create these kind of electric fences around these painful histories, or these painful histories, real or imagined, inside of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Phil, thank you, brother. As always, thank you for being on the team. We're going to throw it over to Patty P here in a second. Thank you for being on the team, brother. And I agree with Ray. Despite what you say, despite your feelings, you've shown up here more than
You're a
anyone.
very important member of this team, dude.
Yeah. So thank you, brother. Patty P, wins for 2023, my friend. I saw you just burning some sage or some shit. So we appreciate that to get the demons. What are the 2023?
Pat is a Wiccan. He's a honorary male Wiccan. Pat, you're muted. Go. He doesn't know.
Oh, you're muted, brother.
There he is. Again. I think he needs to burn more sage. What do you think, Wes?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Let's throw it over to Kyle while Patty P is refreshing. Kyle, I know the newest member.
Kyle, what's our follower count up to so far since we started?
Hell, dude.
It's growing.
Big time, bro.
It better be.
It's growing. But I want to say first, thank you for having me on this group and meeting everyone, great individuals. And I feel for everybody, especially for you, Phil. No pun intended, but at the same time, it's kind of like my 2023 has been the lowest of lows for me. I was laid off, and then Wes found me off of the streets. Technically, no, just kidding. But yeah, so there's 4 big things, or I'd like to say 5 big things that knocked me back down, and I still kept on going, in a sense, through my 2023, and I just pushed through with that Mamba mentality. And so the first one was getting laid off. That was the hardest one. Being able to, not having income to help supply and pay for my parents' bills, pay for my own bills, in a sense, and really trying to take care of people who take care of me. The second one was I lost a really good friend group, in a sense, that kind of was like this kind of group where we're able to open up our feelings and kind of share our wins, share our losses, but at the same time be there for everybody together. The third one was basically I lost my uncle. He hung himself. And it was not the easiest news to hear. And then that was like in October, November. And then in December, my grandma died. She passed away as well, too. Man. So it was knockdown after knockdown after knockdown. And while I was still dealing with my grandma's passing, this lady, or this woman that I was talking to, that I thought that was going to be great in my life, so to speak, she broke things off too as well. So it was just really, getting shot in the leg, getting shot in the chest, getting shot in the forehead, getting shot everywhere. And the biggest, well, I'm religious, I'm Christian. And so the biggest thing I like to say to myself is that I'm running on trust and faith, and putting in the work as much as possible, showing up as much as possible, and really trying to do what I can control during that present time. And something I like to say, 2 cents for everybody, even for myself, is with all these trials and tribulations I've gone through, I've grown stronger in my faith, my walk of faith as well, but also at the same time grow stronger in trusting myself and putting what I do and what I set my mind to. I set my mind to. I do it. And the biggest thing that was really pushing back on me was all the pressure of, oh, you got to hold your shit together. Because even though all these things are attacking you, you got a relationship to attend to, you got to really attend to your family, you got to attend to your finances, you got to attend to every single piece of my life. And it was a big balancing act for me. And I told myself 2024 is going to be a new year. And so I think at least some wins that I can say, I actually ran my own first event in a sense. I was working with one of my roommates. We were doing like a small side hustle business. It's called Perspective. We're trying basically summarize is a localized platform, almost like a Vogue magazine, but a magazine that kind of highlights and showcases, up and coming artists for, people to kind of enjoy and probably meet the next Kanye West, the next Van Gogh, the next Da Vinci of the world, so to speak. But we ran the first event and we broke even the first event. And I was glad that we did that. So, and it was not a cheap event, I'll tell you that. I had to put my investments in it too, time and money as well. And I think that was one of the biggest wins because during that time, I was also, laid off and basically trying to navigate, seeing if, is this the right time to invest in my business or invest into my hobbies, invest in myself, and invest into something that I love to do for others and for the community. And then eventually December came by and I just said, you know what, 2023, middle fingers up. I don't want to see you no more. 2024 here. I was able to kind of, talk to Wes and he kind of interviewed me in a sense. And here I am. Here I'm on the group and I'm trying to change my life for the better and, push on through regardless of what the fact is. And I think, like I said, I don't know if I said it, but feeling is healing. I like to say feeling is healing. Something I learned along the way. Instead of, falling into love, instead of falling into something you love or something that, relationship platonically or, romantically you love, instead of falling into it, walk with it kind of thing.
What comes to mind, brother, and thank you so much for sharing that. Like I said, I know you're the newest member of the group here. One thing that comes to mind is my favorite picture. It's in New York City. I don't know if you guys can see this. So this is Atlas in New York City, right? And in the background is St. Patrick's Cathedral. Ray probably knows better than I do. But anyway, it's Atlas, and then he's staring at what I view as the thing that I make this mean is like, you can choose if you want to build the empire, but you do not get to build the empire without the weight of the world on your shoulders. And what I see from a lot of you men is, the story of 2023, the story of 2022, 2021, and keep on going down the list. And then you can turn right back around and go up the list. It's going to be a forever story of, are you willing to suffer through the building of the empire? And Kyle, that's what I hear in your story. That's what I hear in everybody's story. So congratulations, brother. And you're a perfect example. You're a great fit to the team. Perfect example of, out offensing your problems. Your responsibility as a man is to your stakeholders, to your family, to your friends, to yourself. So great job, brother. It's an honor to have you on the team. Patty P, let me throw it over to you, my friend. Wins for 2023.
I got married.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, never thought that would happen.
And are you still married?
Okay. Yeah, I think
Kudos.
about 3 months strong, so I think we made it past the probation period. I made more money than I made last year, and I put out an art project in the form of a musical album. that I've been working on for fucking ever. Then like all that stuff's cool, but at the same time, I'm like, I didn't go on tour. I stayed home the whole year, just kind of like, my dog died at the beginning of last year, which was just kind of like, it just kind of colored the entire year,
No.
But in that, I think I've kind of, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, I think maybe grown from it as much in a not terrible way or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of my 2023 recap. Like, kind of just grew up, I guess, a little more in my 33rd year on Earth.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you have two major, like enormous wins that, it's crossing over into the chasm of the next phase of manhood.
I feel like that's where I'm at. Like, I'm like really right there where I'm like, only thing I can think about 2024 is I want to get out of this motherfucking apartment.
Love it.
I've been here for like 8 years, and there definitely was a long point in time where I thought, I was like, I have no reason to leave here. I have everything here. It's just a perfect place for my situation. Like, it's a great jumping off point for working, and it's, a good price, and it's big, and it's got a yard with a fence, which is like not a thing out here really. Yeah, and then since my dog got sick and died, and I was just like kind of looking around, I'm like, okay, I think I'm like bigger. And one of my buddies just got a house like at the tail end of this last year, and I'm like, he's like, he was in my wedding party and shit, and he's one of my best friends, and so I'm just like, fuck, now I gotta get a house, like.
Yeah.
But then there's also like other shit where I'm like, you physically outgrow stuff. I feel like I'm like creatively and spiritually and like mentally outgrowing this like space, to where like I am actively searching for a studio space at the moment to, maybe extradite some of that other stuff. But I don't know. I was like a couple years back, I was in a real big like creative like spark where like I actually went down and like pretty much made the bones for like an entire like half an album, like an EP, and then like I was like going on this insane clip, and then our upstairs neighbor got a work from home job, and then so my 9 to 5 became 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I don't know about you guys, but if you wait all day to work until 5 and 5 comes along, you go, man, I don't really want to work, like, or that's how I feel like creatively in that aspect or whatever. So I'm just like, and then today I, just kind of, I started my day on the wrong side of the bed, I think. And maybe blamed it on, it's like something will happen and you're like, damn, on a real bad day, this would throw me off. Like, it's like a fucking rock in your shoe. Like this morning I woke up and I went to go take a shower, and it was cold water, and I'm just like, fuck, normally I'd be like, this is weird. This sucks. So I'm like, whatever. I'm just like getting out. And then my wife comes in and I'm like, the water's cold. And she goes, oh, you know what? So-and-so upstairs put in a load of laundry. And I'm like, I fucking hate this apartment. Why does my upstairs neighbor putting in laundry have to make my fucking shot? You know what I mean? And I just had like a couple wires crossed. And then, I'm probably gonna have to go upstairs and make right, but that's okay. I married into it. So, but yeah, it's more stuff than just that surface thing, because I can just get mad, dude. And if I get mad, I can find like immediate flaws. I'll just go bam, 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 bam. I'm like, fuck this, because of this, because of this, because of that. I'm fucking tired of this shit. But in reality, it's just like, there's like other shit, there's always other shit going on and other like stresses and blah, blah, blah kind of stuff.
Well,
one more thing, my mentor, who like, and best friend, he's the guy, he officiated at my wedding, And like, you know, like when I was like real green, he like pretty much like me and him became like really good friends. He's like 7 or 8 years older than me, probably. This motherfucker, it was like on Friday or something. He's been having some kind of health thing going on. He's not exactly the healthiest dude, kind of parties a lot. He's a bit of a garbage pail kid, growing into a garbage pail man kind of thing. But like professionally, he's like bulletproof, you know, but in his personal life, it's just like the rest of us, all fucked up. Anyway, I take him to the urgent care because he's like, man, I'm having trouble breathing. Like he's fluctuated weight, and right now he's like overweight, and you know, partying and working like a dog, you know, just doing all this crazy shit, just like a. And I took him to the thing, and then he's just like, cool. And then he ended up having to go to the hospital. And then so yesterday I like went and saw him in the hospital, brought him like a phone charger and some like shampoo and shit like that. And I walk in and it's just like, and mind you, this is like a big dude with a beard that's down to here that's red, like he's a redhead, and he's got like long hair. He usually wears a hat, and the top is like mostly bald. So he just looks like the gnarliest motherfucker, and he's sitting there in his fucking hospital gown. And, you know, I'm just trying to be like, man, you're my friend, but at the same time, like, when I was a kid, my brother who passed away when I was 26. So when I was like 16 to like, I don't know, 23 or something, like there'd be times where the last time I was in the hospital I went to yesterday, I remember I was when I was probably like 19 or 20 when my brother was there because he had gotten into a big giant bar fight in downtown St. Louis, and someone stabbed him through the arm here to here. And he's like, I went to go punch somebody and I couldn't move my arm. And my brother's he was gnarly as fuck. He died of a drug overdose. But he's a good dude. But yeah, it was like that. So I was just like, at an early age, just like exposed to this like crazy, like trauma shit that like nobody else, not nobody else, but like a lot of other people, I think would be like, whoa, when I was a kid, if I was around that, could be fucked up. So it's just like, dude, like I was in like going to visit my brother in jail and shit when I was like a junior in high school and just shit like that, you know? And then, so it was just like this whole saga of shit. So I'm in there yesterday. I'm like, damn, dude, last time I was here was that. So it's just like, just huge mind freak, man, you know? And I think it's just a little bit of everything. Dude, we just bought a car. We had like traded our car. That was a whole fucking saga. It's just all this. And, you know, I'm doing no juice January, so I'm now 5 days into not boozing, which is fine, you know. I don't feel like that's weighing on me too heavily, but there are definitely times where I'll have like my gut reaction will go, dude, fuck this. I just want to go. I'm fucking, or like when we spent 2 nights at the car dealership because we're dealing with this fucking dickhead fucking car salesman guy who's fucking stringing us along. Then the finance guy quit, and then we had to come back tomorrow, and it's like a fucking 30-minute drive, and like just traffic, and like while I'm on the way home, I'm like, dude, there's nothing more I want to go do right now than just like go to the Mexican restaurant and just start pounding margaritas. Because like I just don't leave. And then now I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, dude, like it's so easy. First reaction, I'm just like, I don't want to think about anything.
Yep.
Drink, you know, like just straight fuck. Let's fucking rage, you know, like. So yeah, it's just like a whole mixture of that stuff. And then this morning, I just fucking spazzed a little bit, I guess. I don't feel too proud.
Mind if I comment on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the theme that I'm seeing with you, pal, is a great one, which is like you're getting this repeated theme of a call to action to get to the next level. You know, a growing out of my apartment, a marriage, I'm looking at my past and kind of looking at the mentor that I'm seeing. It's like, oh, there's these ingredients that the universe is telling me it's time for me to become the leader, perhaps. And yeah, the struggle with the alcohol, it's like, that's a great fucking struggle. And you're making the decision every day. Instead of running away from your problems, you're meeting them face on, because you know in your heart of hearts that if you don't and you run away again and you resort to whether it be chemicals or whatever the hell else or some sort of mechanisms, well, that's going to rob you of the experience to build the muscle that's necessary to get you to the next level. So, you take the pain of the discipline versus the pain of the regret, bro. So thank you very much for sharing all of that. And it sounds to me like it's just time for you to get ready for the next level. Ray, what's your final words of wisdom, my bud?
Man, I lived in Margaritaville for going on 30 years, dude. And, nice place to visit, but you don't want to live there.
It's like Hotel California, bro.
Yeah, man. So you kind of you buried the lead. So it's like you said, your mentor is in the hospital. You quit boozing. And then, guys, do you think that's related to my freak out this morning? Of course it is.
Yeah.
You're setting all these personal challenges for yourself, or life is putting challenges in front of you, and you're not taking the first bus to Margaritaville. It's like you are just raw dogging the universe and just taking it right on the
raw dogging. That's a term I thought about, the raw dogging.
Yeah, and that's what men do.
Like, dude, I'm just out here fucking.
And I'd like to congratulate all my men on this call, because it sounds like we all spent 365 days raw dogging the universe and we're still standing. That was my closing profundities, Wes.
Well, dudes, I love you guys. I got to jet to a meeting. Thank you all. It's an honor fighting by your side. Kyle, welcome. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Later, dudes.
Hey,
yes,
let's go USA 12:30. Let's go.
Let's do it. Don't even know what that means, but go America.
World Juniors Hockey.
All right, sweet.
Sorry,
later, dude.
No, it's okay, man. You'll get that silver medal. Don't worry.
Hey.